YouTube, what is up guys? I am doing a how-to video today and it is to clean your skateboard. I have the very worst case scenario. This is waterlogged, this is clearly muddy. This skateboard has been through the worst. And it's been fully documented. So here are some clips of just how bad this board has been treated.
Oh my God! Success. Yes!
Yes! That was it. Right, now I'm going to teach you how to clean it and hopefully we can get this board back in action in some aspect. Now the water has clearly gotten to it. See all these stress cracks and whatnot. That just happens when you let a board get wet and don't do anything about it. But we're gonna clean all the mud off this. We're gonna clean the bearings out, scrub everything down, put it back together, and hopefully it'll feel somewhat like a normal skateboard. I've never seen this much dirt on a grip tape in my life. Before I get into it, you are going to need a dirty skateboard, of course. You're going to need a bristle brush. You're going to need paper towels, isopropyl alcohol, or some sort of cleaning solvent equivalent to this, some sort of bearing grease, or in this case, I'm using skateboarding bearing lubricant, and grip gum is always good just to keep your grip tape clean in general. Also, something to scratch with to get all the mud off. I'm using a screwdriver. And then, of course, a skate tool because we're going to take it apart and put it back together. So I'm just going to get the big chunks off. And like I said, I hope you never have to deal with this. Oh my God. Just watch this. So much. Do this outside, or like right here, I can sweep this up, but if you do this inside, it would ruin anything. So, I guess if your girlfriend or boyfriend, you found out that they kissed your best friend or something, go do it at their house. Oh, don't breathe it in either. But now we got the big chunks off and we're ready to actually scrub this down. We got a bristle brush and we're gonna get it wet and we're just gonna go at it. All right, I'm gonna dip it a little bit and just scrub. It's turning it into mud because there's so much. You're gonna need paper towels throughout this whole thing. We're just gonna pat it down and try to get that mud off there, and immediately it looks like a better skateboard. Look at that. All right, so I let this dry for a second. You can even see that there's still marks there. I'm gonna go ahead and scrub this more, but it looks way better of a grip tape than the yellow muddiness. Look at that. I did it one more time again and then I kind of touched up certain areas, but that looks really good. The other side, that's another situation. Much easier to clean. I can go over it with this, and I forgot to say this at the beginning, I have a toothbrush for those detailed spots in your trucks, your wheels and all that stuff. Basically just wet it down, go over it all, and get the water off the board as soon as possible. I know this thing has been soaked in water, but another kick can only hurt so much. Don't you agree, Sam? What? I'm just gonna go over the whole thing. I'm not gonna do too large of an area at a time. I don't want this board to be wetter than it already is. It's beautiful! Oh my gosh. Look at that. It's literally like painting the dirt off. I really should have done the trucks first. FYI, do the trucks first so when the dirt falls to your skateboard, you don't have to re-clean it. I'm gonna take the wheels off now. They do not spin at all. Look at this. Oh my gosh. If we get that bearing working again, that's gonna be a miracle. But if there's a few casualty bearings, it's not a big deal. That does not turn. I cannot turn these bearings. I'm gonna set my wheels and bearings aside and we'll get to those, but I'm gonna clean this truck up and get it ready because the bearings is probably the most technical part of all this. There's some steps to take. There's dirt that got wedged behind the kingpin. That's gonna drive me crazy, so I'm gonna go ahead and take off the kingpin nut, pull the truck apart, and get all the gunk out. Probably not gonna do too much to you unless you got like a rock in there or something. There's a bunch of grime right in there, and you can do that. Very easy, won't take you long. Then you just put it back together. There's the truck I haven't done. There's the truck I have done. Looks way better. Now I'm gonna repeat to the other side, but since you know how to do this, I'm not gonna show you. Let's just move on to the wheels. Board and trucks are completely clean. Now we move on to the wheels and bearings. This is going to be the most difficult part too, because as gross as these are, it might be hard to get the bearing out of the wheel. That one was easy. Hopefully you just get lucky, but you know, depending on what wheel you have. Force wheels are pretty easy to put your bearing on the end of your axle and kind of pry it off, but some wheels kind of hold onto the bearings. Ooh, that one fought me. Wheel real quick, just scrub it. You could use your bristle brush or your toothbrush, whatever gets it clean. These should be really easy and rewarding too because a clean wheel. Ooh, I'm getting stuff everywhere. There you go, clean wheel. When you skate white wheels in general, they kind of turn this color, so don't expect to see a bright white wheel again unless you skate in the cleanest environment ever, which doesn't exist. All right, now for the bearings. I am going to squirt a bunch of this isopropyl alcohol in here. All right. Enough in there to just completely cover 8 bearings. If you had normal bearings with shields, you'd have to use something really small and pop out the shield, and then you put it back in. But I actually have shieldless bearings, so in this board at least. So I'm already one step ahead. Prop your bearing shields out so it really lets the dirt fall out of the bearing. Flash it. There we go. Okay. And we're gonna let that soak just for a few minutes. This is also something really cool. Bones makes a bearing cleaner. So you'd put your bearings on this, put the alcohol in here, put it down and shake it just to get it all loosened up. So with that said, I'm actually gonna use it. But if you don't have this, just soaking them will be just fine. It'll do something to the bearing. Then you put a spacer. The spacers are included with this thing. Boop. Bam! All right, all of our bearings are on there. I'm just gonna pour the alcohol into this. Da 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 da. All right, now I'm gonna shake this for a couple minutes. It just constantly pulls the alcohol through the bearings, getting all of that dirt out of there. It's like a shake weight right here. All right, so I did that for a couple minutes. The alcohol is now brown. Shake it off, pull a Taylor Swift. We're going to get a paper towel, and we're just gonna drop these onto it so you can kinda dry them off. Now I'm just gonna kinda tap the bearings down to try to get the alcohol out of there. You can really see it spread on here. There's a lot of alcohol built up in these. And now you're gonna lay all the bearings face up and let's get our bearing lubricant. Now already after doing just that, the bearings sound pretty much brand new. They feel really good and smooth. If you get a crusty one, which I just had, I basically just kept smashing it against the wood here to break up it, put it back in the alcohol, shook it up, and then I repeated that a few times and it loosened up. Now it's spinning like a spinner. What spins? A DJ. It's spinning like a DJ. That was a terrible thing. I wasn't trying to make you laugh. Let's just keep going. Now the final step is I'm gonna put just a little drop of speed cream or whatever type of bearing grease you're using. I'm gonna do 1 drop on each side. That one didn't get in there. Okay, and I'm gonna spin. And it already sounds smoother. That's the one thing, some of these sound, like you can kind of hear a rattle in them. This one, it's just a smoother sound. It's gonna be a smoother feel too. All right, so I did all the bearings. With this, make sure you clean your bearings before using it because if there's dirt in there, it's just gonna get mixed in with all the dirt and disgusting stuff. So you're working backwards if you put bearing lubricant in a dirty bearing. And also, when this dries, it'll be even faster. So skate these for a few days and it's gonna feel a little different and better and smoother. But we're ready to put this all back together and test out that skateboard, which looks nothing like it did when we started this video. All right, the defining moment. We have liftoff. Keep in mind, this board didn't roll at all when we started. And the bearings might be a little tough. Just make sure you like really put your body weight into it to get them in there. And then when you tighten it down, you can always over tighten it a little bit and it'll tighten the bearings into the wheel really good. We now have a clean skateboard. I know one last thing. So here it is, grip tape. There's definitely signs that the grip tape was once caked in mud. And then the stress cracks of sitting in water for so long and not being taken care of are there, but it's a really good clean skateboard. The grip gum I mentioned at the beginning, look at that. Gets rid of some of these really muddy remnant spots. It's probably not gonna take it completely off, but I'm not gonna do the whole thing, but if you were to do this across the whole thing, it's gonna even look better. You can grab these $5 at a skate shop and they work really well. Look at that, you can see that. It used to look like that. Now it's back to being kind of black. Boom, there we go. So let's do some tricks on this and see how it feels. It's probably gonna feel very waterlogged and weird. Not a lot of pop, but you do have your skateboard back. It sounds like a waterlogged board, okay. This is the mud board.
That's very impressive. Very impressive.
All right, let's do a few tricks. Literally, the only way I can big spin is if I do not pop. This is the only way. so there you guys go. That was how to clean your skateboard. I really hope no one has a board this dirty in their life. Like, this was a disaster, but the fact that it came back to life, I mean, at the very least, the board, it definitely feels like it's lost its pop. It's been wet and muddy for about a year now. So, but now these trucks and wheels are back in action. It's awesome. So thank you guys for watching. I do videos here that are usually goofier and less informative, I guess, but I have a lot of fun here on this channel. Skateboarding lifestyle. If you guys want to see more from me, hit the subscribe button right below the video and you were signed up to see more. And that is it. I'm done. If you don't have a dirty skateboard, you should go look at it and be like, thank you for not being like that one guy's on the internets. And kiss it. I mean, how often do people kiss their skateboard? I don't. I don't really want to kiss this one, but hey, I'm gonna leave. I was sitting there, and I need to do something with the music. I'm gonna wash my peach first. And he went to do it, and it took him 20 minutes, and I was like, are you James? Is your peach as big as a house? My gosh.